cute. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and you should totally subscribe for more videos. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit more different than the videos I have previously on my channel, but I'm excited to talk about it because it's something that I'm really fond about. And that is the show Grownish. If you don't know, Grownish is Freeform's new show. It's a spin-off of Blackish, which was called Racism at Highest Level by Donald Trump, but it follows the oldest daughter, Zoe Johnson, who is portrayed as Yara Shahidi. It follows her as she goes and experiences college, and I love this show. There are so many aspects of it that I love, and there are also some that I just want to talk about and get into a little bit. I'll start with the negatives and then end off with the positives. And by the way, this is not me bashing the show at all. It was so highly anticipated by me because I love Blackish. I love Yara Shahidi. I think she's a beautiful and wonderful, inspiring role model for our generation. So this is nothing against her or the show or the creators. They're just some things I want to talk about. So first off, I think the show moves just a little bit too fast, especially within the first 3 episodes. And I know this is hard. It's hard to encapsulate a full plot within a 30-minute time constraint, but I do think it's just a little bit unrealistic the way things occur. Just the fact that it almost has the audience putting pieces together. The jump between the 2nd episode and the 3rd episode, it's just where did this character development come from? When did these relationships start building so close that she can call all her friends at 2 in the morning to talk about a text, and she's being intimate with the 2 other with her 2 other guy friends that were just literally her guy friends in the last episode, and now she's kissing both of them. It was fast for me. When I started watching episode 3, I thought I skipped a whole episode, and I stopped it and I was wait.
I was in love. That's a normal thing to say after your first kiss with a guy, right?
But yeah, I just think it moves a little bit too fast, and that makes it come off a little bit as unrealistic, especially since it's supposed to be such a relatable show for young adults such as myself who will be entering college soon. But yeah, also it's a little bit extra, I don't know, and obviously it's a TV show, it's not a documentary. It has to be dramatized for the purpose of television, but some aspects of it in episode 3, the whole Kid Ink party.
Wait, is that Kid Ink?
Yo, mic check 1 2.
Being with 2 guys and keeping them away from each other, I don't know, it kind of just seems I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not as mature as the show seems. Once again, I do understand that it needs to be exaggerated for the purpose of television and entertaining the audience, so I understand that. One thing I love about all the episodes is that they're named after songs and albums. The first one was Late Registration, Don't Kill My Vibe. If you're reading this, it's too late, and I love how it incorporates those titles and references, and that applies directly to the context of the show, but I wish we could get a title reference of the song directly in the show, or at least it plays one time, or they incorporate a line. I think that would be really clever, just keeping the fluidity of the title into the dialogue and context. I think that's something to consider. I don't know. And lastly, for the negatives, Zoe constantly breaks the 4th wall, and breaking the 4th wall is basically when someone when a character addresses the audience directly, and no one else in the show really knows what's going on. They're all just frozen. They don't know what's going on. And I don't really like how they incorporate that into the show, because I think that when the 4th wall is broken, it should be for the purpose of the audience knowing the internal thoughts and feelings of the character. But I feel whenever she does it, it's just did you see that?
You heard that, right?
It doesn't add anything, and I think that just takes away from the suspense of disbelief that the audience has. But I mean, once again, it's a show, so. Now on to the things that I love about this show. I watched Blackish and I was really happy to know that they continue the theme of the cultural and historical references into Grownish, because I think that adds a lot to these shows, and it's not just entertainment, it's not just comedy, it is very educational as well. I learned a lot from Blackish, didn't know what Juneteenth was. Like, it's really educating in that way, and I'm glad that they carry that over into the spin-off series as well. And of course, Zoe's hair and clothes, like, on point as always. The stylists in general, just like, bravo, because you're doing great. It's also really relatable, and that's something I was really happy about, because I wasn't sure, you know, exactly how they were going about the show, but I did have high hopes for it since it's the same creator as Blackish, and you know, he's a genius. I loved how relatable it was in the sense of expectations, and when you enter college, no one really knows what they're doing, you're just trying to figure it out, and you have expectations from society, expectations from your parents, and I think they display that in the show very well. They also tie in topics such as race and sexuality, and it's displayed in a way that's like, even if you're not going through it yourself, you definitely know someone that's going through it, so you can relate to it in that sense. And I think that adds a lot to like the depth of the show and like, you know, more of the meaning of what it's all about. And lastly, I loved how blunt it was. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, oh yeah, you know, like, she's obviously going to college, but they're not gonna like show everything. Like, this is still a TV show, especially since it came from Blackish, which is like a family show, and now she's in college, and you know, she's like doing what college kids are doing, and I was happily surprised with how real they were with it, especially the whole like finding your thing, you know, like what works for you, what helps you get through college and school, and they didn't just like, you know, like sugarcoat anything or like hide any cursing or using, because like that's how it is, and like they displayed that very well, which I was really happy about. So yeah, that's what I think of the show so far. I love it so much. I'm gonna keep on watching it. Love the show, love Yara Shahidi. If you don't watch the show, you should. It comes on Freeform on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And yeah, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.